Hey guys, welcome back to Unqualified Critics. Got a handful of news stories for you and figured it makes sense to put these all into one video and get you an update on the latest, this time for Arcade1up. The first item is going to be actionable if you don't have NBA Jam and you're thinking about getting it. Now is the time. $300 for the Sam's Club bundle. That's with the stool. That's with some custom silver trim that you might be into. I think the riser design is even a little bit different, but it's a good looking cabinet. More importantly, it's a really well done cabinet. There's a lot of talk, and coming from me as well, on cabinets like Star Wars and Golden Axe, but NBA Jam has to be near the top of that list. It's one of the best executed Arcade1ups ever made. This version may or may not be your favorite version. It's got the silver trim. I think the logo on the riser is a little bit different. It's got a different design stool. But the differences are pretty minor and they're strictly cosmetic. And you might even think this looks better than the normal version. It's not necessarily a downgrade. It's just the custom version they did for Sam's Club. But what's special about it really is that it's $300. I felt at this kind of bundle at $500 was a decent deal. At $400, I thought it was a very good deal. But at $300, this really is a no-brainer. So if you've been on the fence about NBA Jam, this is a really cool cabinet to have in your house. If this is something that you have memories of playing, even if you're like me and you never played this in the arcade, but maybe you played it on console, but it's a great cabinet. So think about this at $300 really, and check your store if you do have a Sam's Club membership. Before we go any further, big shout out to this video's sponsor. This video is sponsored by my friends at Jumbo Privacy. This is an all-inclusive privacy tracking app. It was the Apple App Store app of the day. It's been featured in a ton of news outlets. I don't even have time to list them all. It also has a ton of features. I'm still discovering the features as I've been using this app. I've got a link below if you want to click through and download the app. They're supporting independent creators like this channel, and they have a fantastic product. They even have a VPN built in if you're interested in that. They do stuff like you can set up to automatically delete recordings in your smart home devices like Alexa and like Google Home. You can even set it up to auto delete old social media posts. I'll be honest, I've made some cringe posts back in my day. Not on YouTube, my public world, but other stuff. And this can automatically delete all of that. I've spent hours deleting old posts one day a while back. This will do it automatically. This will also stop those weird ads that you get from your online searches. This will lock down your accounts and it will let you know if one of your accounts has been breached or is at risk, and then you know to go in and change your password and make sure that you're safe. Remember, Jumbo Privacy does have a free tier. They also have Jumbo Pro, which if you click the link below, you will get a 7-day free trial for. At the end of that 7 days, if you wish to continue with Jumbo Pro, you get to pick how much it costs. You get to pick any amount, whatever you think is fair. Support the channel and protect your privacy by downloading Jumbo Privacy with the link below. Next is a leak, I think, from Arcade1up's customer support. So if you go into Arcade1up's customer support ticketing service, this is where you have a problem. This is where you go to say you have an issue and you get it solved, or hopefully you get it solved. I know some of you have had rough experiences with their customer support. But when you do this, when you create a ticket, first you pick your product, but then you also pick the reason you're reaching out. And between these two fields, there sometimes is new information leaked that wasn't previously announced by the company. So that's happened here with the Asteroids software update. I don't think this has been announced. I've not seen anything on their Facebook page. And I don't even know for sure which product this is for. I have the stand-up Asteroids cabinet, and I don't think it's for that. That's a first generation Arcade1up. It doesn't have a micro USB port. So you could update it, but it'd have to be an all new PCB. And I don't think that cabinet really has any software issues to note. The problem with that is it's on Gen 1 hardware, but they're not going to update that and send you all new hardware. So I think this must be for the new Asteroids Partycade. But that's a product I don't have, and I never plan on buying it, so I didn't follow it very much. I think I watched one review of it. It's a good looking Partycade, but the Partycades, like the Countercades, are just not really interesting to me. So I never checked into it. I do think at least there is one issue, and that is with the spinner sensitivity. And if you guys remember the old Asteroids, it came with a really crappy, clicky spinner. Well, this one I think comes with the free spinning one that they later updated. But the thing is with spinner games, different games require different sensitivity settings to play them to be arcade perfect. And I assume this cabinet, like the previous spinner cabinets, only has one sensitivity setting. So you play one game and it might feel fine, but you play another game and it might feel terrible. So is this update going to fix that? That I don't know. I'm speculating here, but that's the only thing I can think of. It's a problem with that cabinet. But again, I've not been following it. So if you have the Asteroids Partycade and you know of some software problems that might be getting fixed, let us know in the comments. That'd be good to know. But we can assume there is an update coming. There is also a Mega Man update, but Arcade1up announced that on Facebook. We know what that is. They're fixing the button mapping between A and B for the controller for Mega Man. So that was reversed. It is getting fixed. So, I could say whatever I want about the Mega Man console. I didn't think it looked very good. The Partycades, I think those look good. They're just not for me as a customer. But overall, the narrative is I think they're getting more serious about pushing more software updates, which, yeah, it is a little bit of a hassle to have to use your computer to do it with USB, but I'd much rather see that than just see no software updates. Like, think about if the Marvel cabinet, and I doubt they'll update this because we've got the new Marvel vs. Capcom and X-Men Street Fighter cabinets, but if you go back to last year's Marvel cabinet, I've got the limited edition with the sandwall parts. That is almost a perfect cabinet, except it really suffers from not having difficulty settings. Those fighting games were notoriously difficult. The AI that you fight against is notoriously cheap. And unless you're pretty good at fighting games, which I'm really mediocre at them, playing it one player, you probably won't get that far. So it could use some dip switch settings, which give you access to adjust the difficulty. That's one example. But I'm really glad to see that going forward, we're going to get more and more updates and hopefully more and more cabinets with dip switch settings. All right, the next item, Supreme Mortal Kombat. This is probably the last video I'll make on this. If you guys are tired of hearing about it, you're almost out of the woods. We do get a look now at it being unboxed. Look at that. I mean, that thing looks good. It almost looks like something you'd want to keep and resell 5 years later for a fortune. Like it almost looks better in the packaging than it looks fully assembled. Looks slick. It does have light up buttons. I'm guessing they're the same buttons that the Marvel light up version had. I don't know if any of you guys have played that. Take a look at this. The back panel is blacked out. That's the first time they've ever done that. I wish they would do that on all of them instead of just the tan. Something tells me the guys from Supreme stepped in and said, hey, we need this thing to look good from all angles. But that is pretty cool. I think that does make a difference with how slick the cabinet looks. It's a good looking machine. I did try to get one. I wasn't able to get it, and this is why. Now, this is in Europe. I couldn't find any recorded sellout times for the US market, which is where I am, but it sold out in under 40 seconds. So I tried. I wasn't even able to get the listing page to load. I think a lot of people that buy this stuff, they have some tricks up their sleeve. I know one of my commenters mentioned that. If you ever go out and try to get Supreme, it's the kind of thing where there's certain shortcuts you have to take. And I assume that means botting, but whatever it is, you got to use some tools. You're probably not just going to come in like me and click a few buttons and hope you get it. So I wasn't able to get a Supreme Mortal Kombat. I know a couple of you were, so props to you that you were able to land one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's all the news I have for you right now, but you'll hear from me soon. Take care.